Hey everybody, hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be doing Taylor Swift's Speak Now vault tracks. Hey, after I get done with this, I'm going to be checking out some live performances from the Speak Now era. People have been sharing a ton of different links with me of all sorts of fun performances, and I'll do that after today's video. And then after that, I'm going to be moving back on to album reactions so I can get these done as quickly as possible for everybody. I'm leaning towards Midnight's, the 3 a.m. version. A lot of people have been talking about this album. Anyway, what do you say we pull this up and let's check out the first track here. The first one we got is a song called Electric Touch, and it's featuring Fall Out Boy. You know, actually, that reminds me, a couple of weeks back, I actually watched a live performance with Taylor Swift and Fall Out Boy. I wonder if it was for this song and I just didn't know. Anyway, let's see what Electric Touch is all about. I like how the melodies always set the stage for the songs. It's like a slow build, like we're about to creep into a story. We're building. Interesting atmosphere.
Just breathe, just relax, it'll be okay. Just an hour till your car's in the driveway. Just the first time ever hanging out with you tonight.
Okay, so I guess somebody's coming to pick up Taylor Swift. She's starting off like a mantra here, like just breathe, just relax, it's gonna be okay. He'll be here in an hour, but you can definitely tell that like there's some anxiety surrounding this encounter.
I've got my money on things going badly. Got a history of stories ending sadly.
All right.
Still hoping that the fire won't burn me. Just one time. Just one time. All I know is this could either break my heart or bring it back to life. Got a feeling your electric touch could fill this ghost town up with light. And I want you now, wanna need you forever in the heat of your electric touch.
Okay, so she's basically having this conversation with herself. She knows that this could break her heart and everything, but she has this infatuation with this person with the electric touch, and she's still optimistic about it. I'm wondering if the ghost town is a metaphor. I'm leaning towards it's the ghost town as a metaphor for her like kind of outlook on love and relationships, kind of her cynicism towards the whole thing. She's been hurt before, she's been down this road and she's been burnt.
I've been left in the rain, lost and pining. I'm trying hard not to look like I'm trying.
Oh, we all know that game.
Time I tried hard for love, it fell apart.
Oh, I like the touch of keys.
I've gotten used to no one calling my phone. I've grown accustomed to sleeping alone.
Nothing wrong with that.
Still I know that all it takes is to get it right just one time.
There's still this glimmer of optimism.
One time. All I know is this could either break my heart or bring it back to life. Got a feeling your electric touch could fill this ghost town up with light. I want you now, wanna need you forever in the heat of your electric touch.
It's so spacey.
I was thinking just one time, maybe the stars align, and maybe I call you
I like the
mine.
callbacks.
You won't need space or string me along while you decide, and just one time, maybe the moment's right. It's 8:05.
Oh, he's late. He's late. Very cool. I always find it interesting when we have like a harmony coming from like a male and female duet, and the male register, the male's vocals are at a higher tone, and the female is just singing from a lower register. I think that's kind of a cool contrast, and that's exactly what happened over here. Yeah, that's beautiful.
All I know is this could either break my heart or bring it back to life. Got a feeling your electric touch.
Pulsating breakdown here.
All I know is this could either break my heart or bring it back to life. Got a feeling your electric touch could fill this ghost town up with light. And I want you now.
Oh, come on. I wish the drums were louder.
In the heat of your electric touch.
Oh, I love it. We end with a gallop beat, but we're not ending with a fade. I respect it. Usually when that happens, I almost can like always expect a fade out, and I'm not a big fan, so I'm glad that that didn't happen there. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. That's a electric touch, and yeah, I don't mind that one at all. I guess my only criticism towards that is I wish the drums were just a tad bit louder. There was some really interesting beat mapping going on there that I would have liked to have been a little clearer in the mix, but everything else was just awesome, dude. It's about the anxieties of kind of first starting to fall for somebody. I think he was late here because of this line. Yeah, who picked somebody up at 8:05? So something tells me this guy was running a little bit late. I don't know how happy Taylor's about that one. And like, she's gonna be burned, and she's been burned before. And like, there's this devil on her shoulder that's basically saying, you know how this is gonna end. What I like about this song is the perseverance behind it. Like, she still has her heart open to this. She's still like, it's just gonna take just that one time for the right person to click. She knows that she's open to like heartbreak here. All I know is this could either break my heart or it could bring it back to life. I don't know. I like it, dude. I think it's got some awesome harmonies. I think Fall Out Boy did a great job. I think the music was really cool, and it's got this cool little almost like rock anthem type of melody behind it. All right, next one here is called When Emma Falls in Love. Who is Emma?
When Emma falls in love, she paces the floor, closes the blinds and locks the door. When Emma falls in love, she calls up her mom, jokes about the ways that this one could go wrong. She waits and takes her time, 'cause little Miss Sunshine always thinks it's gonna rain. When Emma falls in love, I know that boy will never be the same. 'Cause she's the kind of book that you can't put down.
I wasn't expecting this kind of hook.
Cleopatra grew up in a small town.
I love it. Because she's the kind of book that you can't put down, like if Cleopatra grew up in a small town. I like that line a lot. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this song to have like a rock twist to it. It was so delicate. We had this like touch of slight acoustic guitar and like kind of almost like pensive sharp piano, and mixed together with like some phenomenal vocals from Taylor.
She's the kind of book that you can't put down. Like if Cleopatra grew up in a small town.
I like it because it basically like that kind of line signifies to me like it's more than just like this physical attraction. She's the kind of book that you can't put down. Like there's something else to her that like you're fascinated by, you know? There's a certain way of phrasing things that I think really kind of puts you in the shoes of people and also really explains things. I think this line does it very, very well.
And all the bad boys would be good boys if they only had a chance to love her. And to tell you the truth, sometimes I wish I was her. When Emma falls in love, it's all on her face, hangs in the air like stars in outer space.
This is beautiful. This should have been on the album.
When Emma falls in love, she disappears, and we all just laugh after seeing it all these years.
Oh yeah.
When Emma falls apart, it's when she's alone. She takes on the pain and bears it on her own.
Emma sounds awesome.
And she's the kind of book that you can't put down.
I like the choir.
If Cleopatra grew up in a small town,
Cleopatra in a small town.
all the bad boys would be good boys if they only had a chance to love her. And to tell you the truth, sometimes I wish I was her.
Emma's the kind of girl you do want to fall in love with. She sounds awesome to me. She puts everything into it. I think it's kind of cool that like even Taylor has like this little line here. And to tell you the truth, sometimes I still wish I was her. I think it's cool. You know, it's not really like a jealousy thing. It's like more of like an admiration thing.
And to tell you the truth, sometimes I wish I was her.
She sounds awesome. I like Emma. Why wasn't this on the album?
Well, she's so New York. When she's in LA, she won't lose herself and love the way that I did. 'Cause she'll call you out, she'll put you in your place. When Emma falls in love, I'm learning. Emma met a boy with eyes like a man. Turns out her heart fits right in the palm of his hand.
This is gorgeous.
Now he'll be her shelter when it rains. Little does he know his whole world's about to change. She's the kind of book that you can't put down.
I really like this one.
If Cleopatra grew up in a small town, and all the bad boys would be good boys if they only had a chance to love her. And to tell you the truth, sometimes I wish I was her. Yeah, between me and you, sometimes I wish I was her.
It ends kind of sharply, but yeah, so far out of all the vault tracks that I've heard, this is my favorite. I'm so confused as to why this didn't make the album. I guess my impression was of the vault tracks is like they were like extras. And normally like when an artist records an album, you know, if there's 10 tracks or 15 tracks on an album, they're going to record 15, 20, sometimes 25, 30 tracks. And then they kind of just pick the best ones. And I feel like this 100% should have been a contender for the album. I think this is beautiful. And honestly, one of my favorite songs I've heard from Taylor. She's so New York when she's in LA.
She's so New York when she's in LA.
Yeah, I love that line. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It sounds like Emma's just an awesome person, and this guy has no idea what he's in for, having Emma fall for her. If Cleopatra grew up in a small town, she's like a book you can't put down. Like, these are just some good lyrics. These lines slap. Next one up is Castles Crumbling featuring Hayley Williams. The name sounds familiar, Hayley Williams, but I'm not sure I'm familiar with any of her music. Oh my God, the drum line is the exact same as TLC's Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls in the beginning. Bow, bow, da, da, bow, bow, now, now. Yeah, it's like that. All right, it's pensive. I love how all these songs start with this like build.
Once I had an empire in a golden age. I was held up so high. I used to be great. They used to cheer when they saw my face. Now I fear I have fallen from grace, and I feel like my castle's crumbling down, and I watch all my bridges burn to the ground. And you don't want to know me, I will just let you down.
Little self-loathing.
You don't wanna know me now.
The fidelity's awesome.
would hang on my words, and they trusted me. The faith was strong, but I pushed it too far.
That's beautiful.
I held that grudge till it tore me apart. Power went to my head, and I couldn't stop. Ones I loved tried to help, so I ran them off. And here I sit alone behind walls of regret, falling down like promises that I never kept. And I feel like my castle's crumbling down, and I watch all my bridges burn to the ground. And you don't want to know me, I will just let you die. You don't wanna know me
Okay, I know. It's a sad song. It's a self-loathing song, and I think I know what it's about, but I just wanted to take a minute just to enjoy that beautiful bridge. Honestly, the sonic fidelity of this song is gorgeous, and I really enjoy the layering and the atmosphere. I'm assuming this is kind of surrounding her fall from grace after the Kanye fiasco there. Reminds me of, like, God, her doing that interview and talking about like all she wanted was people to clap for, because like that's all she knew, and it was like her inner insecurities. And when people started booing, or what sounded like booing at her, it was a very informative experience for her. I feel like this is just kind of like her expressing her mental state during that specific thing. Now, it could obviously be anything. My knowledge on Taylor Swift and her happenings so far are pretty limited. So yeah, I know that it's sad. The song is written in the theme, in texture of a love song. So it's kind of strange. I love it. It's like almost magical. The vocal layerings, the hint of slight cello.
My foes and friends watch my reign, and I don't know how it could have ended this way. Smoke billows from my ships in the harbor. People look at me like I'm a monster. Now they're screaming that the palace front gates used to chant my name. Now they're screaming that they hate
The touch of piano in Music Box.
Never wanted you to hate me.
Oh, the soft inflections. It's like a sense of desperation to it. There's that cello. All right, we'll let that fade past because the instrument stripped away and the song was still evolving. It was just a guitar that shimmered out. Okay, we'll let that one pass. I just don't like fade outs. No, that was, this is a very beautifully constructed song. This is just gorgeous. Yes, it's self-loathing. Yes, it's kind of insecure, but I think that's what it's about. I think this song is about like embracing those insecurities and sharing them with the world. And I don't know, Taylor doesn't need to do that, you know? I mean, she like she says here, she was becoming a dynasty. She was becoming one of the biggest stars in the world. And to open up and be vulnerable vulnerable with somebody, especially with so many people. Like, it's difficult to do. You know, I can put myself in her shoes to a certain degree. For those of you guys that don't know, I've been a musician most of my life, and I've toured and I've released my own music and everything. And I'm not here to push it. Don't worry. I'm not going to send you to my SoundCloud. I've, tried to do that myself, and I've tried to, embrace, these feelings I have myself, these dark thoughts and these things and these feelings and these situations in my life that have been like very traumatic for me. And it was a very difficult experience to share them night after night. And, obviously I was playing in front of a much smaller audience than Taylor Swift. At most 1,000 people were at my shows. I was not filling up stadiums. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is it was to perform those songs over and over every single night, to share them, to open myself up that way. It was a drag, dude. And especially if you want to perform it right and you want to be in that mindset, you really have to go back to that place. And since so many of Taylor Swift's songs they're detailed in a narrative way, they tell like a story. It's like opening that wound every single time. And I understand the importance of it for you to share an experience that may have hurt you, but maybe it hurts somebody else as well. And that's what's going to kind of bring you guys together. And it's going to have open up this sense of community type thing, which is a beautiful thing to do. It's a very selfless thing to do. But make no mistake, it's like picking a scab, and it hurts. And I applaud her for recording her thoughts and sharing her point of view when she was in this low place and she just thought that she was nothing and everything was crumbling. She burned all of our bridges and she's just basically telling people to stay away from her. We all have these feelings of self-doubt, whether it's a thing that happens all the time or it just happens once a year or whatever. But we've all been there. We've all been in these places. Now, mirror that with, the complexity of the cinematic score behind this. And it feels almost like a triumphant love song, like the bells and the music box and the slight touch of cello, bits and pieces of acoustic guitar, mingled together with very delicate touching piano and the soundscape. It might not be an everyday song, but I think it's beautiful in its honest approach. All right, next one is Foolish One.
My cards are on the table, yours are in your hand. Chances are tonight you've already got plans, and chances are I will talk myself to sleep again.
Okay, what a way to open the song up here. I like this first line. My cards are on the table and yours are in your hand. She's laying it all out there. Here it is. Here I am. I'm bearing my soul to you. And he's just sitting there with pocket aces, not showing off what he's got.
You give me just enough attention to keep my hopes too high. Wishful thoughts forget to mention when something's really not right. And I will block out these voices of reason in my head.
Uh-oh, she's blinded.
And the voices say you are not the exception. You will never learn your lesson. Foolish one, stop checking your mailbox for confessions of love.
She knows.
Never gonna come. You will take the long way. You will take the long way down.
It's like she's having a conversation with herself. She knows what's happening. She sees it a mile away, but she's blinded by love.
How to keep me waiting. I know how to act like I'm fine. Don't know what to call this situation, but I know I can't call you mine. And it's delicate, but I will do my best to seem bulletproof.
Don't lie to yourself.
'Cause when my head is on your shoulder, it starts thinking you'll come around. And maybe someday when we're older, this is something we'll laugh about over coffee every morning while you're watching the news.
I love the desperation in her voice. I'm starting to believe this guy is kind of toying with her. He has his hands kept to his heart. He's not sharing what Taylor's sharing. And I think he knows that Taylor obviously has a thing for him. And I think he might be using her in some kind of way.
But then the voices say you are not the exception. You will never
Listen to him.
listen. Foolish one, stop checking your mailbox for confessions of love that ain't never gonna come. You will take the long way. You will take the long way down.
this song.
Now I'm sliding down the wall with my head in my hands, saying,
The subtle
how
squeak.
can I not see the signs? Oh, you haven't written me or called, but goodbye screaming in the silence, and the voices in my head are telling me why. 'Cause you got her on.
I'm gonna take it back. It's those subtle inflections. The song has a lot of really cool layering, and everything's perfectly in key, and it's got a cool little, minor harmony going too. But it's all those subtle inflections that really just humanizes this whole experience.
You got her on your arm and me in the wings. I'll get your longing glances, but she'll get your ring, and you will say you had the best of intentions.
The high to low is beautiful.
And maybe I will finally learn my lesson. Foolish one, stop checking your mailbox for confessions of love that ain't never gonna come. You will take the long way, you will take the long way down.
She knows.
Foolish one, stop checking your mailbox for confessions of love that ain't never gonna come. You will learn the hard way instead of just walking out. Oh, 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 la 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 la, la 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 la, oh la 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 la, they're never gonna come.
I don't know if I've ever heard a more beautiful la 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 la. That was so sweet.
You will learn the hard way. Foolish one, sitting round waiting for confessions of love. They ain't never gonna come. And thinking he's the one he should have been walking out. Foolish one, the day is gonna come for your confessions of love. When all is said and done, he just wasn't the one. No, he just wasn't the one.
Okay, well, I mean, it's incredibly self-aware. I think that's kind of like the best way to describe it. We've all heard the term blinded by love, and I think we're kind of getting that. But there still is like this ounce of cynicism in Taylor that she knows like something is strange or something is just not right. And I truly believe the guy who she's talking about might be kind of using her for something. Maybe it's just attention or, companionship for whatever amount of time. I don't know the story. But that's the kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this whole thing. And Taylor's trying to fool herself. She's trying to like blind herself, saying like, oh, that mail's going to come. I'm going to get that love letter. You're going to come around and you're going to wake up one day, and one day we'll all be old and we'll be laughing about this. And in the end, it just doesn't happen. And she's just calling herself foolish for being in this situation again. But one of the things I really enjoy and admire about Taylor is like, she's a hopeless romantic, guys. She's just a hopeless romantic. She wants love and she wants to find it. The way that she opens herself up and shares herself and everything, like, it's a rare thing, especially nowadays. She's like opening herself like a book and willing to share it with somebody and being in this vulnerable situation all the time to find this thing, like this romance that she's like just looking for. I don't know if she's dating anybody right now, but like, God, I just hope she finds love. I just hope she finds somebody to appreciate her for who she is, and she can finally have what she's been searching for in all of these songs. Because at this point, I'm really starting to feel for this girl. She might be worth millions of dollars and have mansions and millions of fans all over the world, but at the end of the day, like, she's still dealing with the same shit that most people are dealing with. But yeah, at this point, I'm really starting to feel for her. All right, so the last one here is called Timeless, and let's check it out, shall we?
Down the block there's an antique shop, and something in my head said stop, so I walked in. On the counter was a cardboard box and the sign said photos, 25 cents each. Black and white, saw her 30s bride and two lovers laughing on the porch of their first house. The kind of love that you only find once in a lifetime, the kind you don't put down. And that's when I called you, and it's so hard to explain, but in those photos I saw us instead. And somehow I know that you and I would have found each other. In another life, you still would have turned my head, even if we'd met on a crowded street in 1944, and you were headed off to fight in the war. You still would have been mine, we would have been timeless. I would have read your love letters every single night and prayed to God you'd be coming home alright, and you would have been fine, we would have been timeless.
What an interesting angle this is. We are traveling through time here. Okay, this is new. I don't think I've heard anything like this before.
'Cause I believe that we were supposed to find this. So even in a different life, you still would have been mine. We would have been timeless.
It's like a touch of horn and a bit of organ.
I had to smile when it caught my eye. There was one of a teenage couple in the driveway, holding hands on the way to a dance, and the date on the back said 1958, which brought me back to the first time I saw you. Time stood still like something in this old shop. I thought about it as I started looking round at these precious things that time forgot. That's when I came upon a book covered in cobwebs, story of a romance torn apart by fate. Hundreds of years ago they fell in love like we did, and I'd die for you in the same way. If I first saw your face in the 1500s off in a foreign land, and I was forced to marry another man, you still would have been mine, we would have been timeless.
This may be one of the greatest love songs I have ever heard. This is actually really good. This is phenomenal writing. This is fantastic. It is perfectly like explains like the deep-seated love you feel for somebody else, and then picturing them in different times. And how is this not on the album? How is just this a vault track? I mean, this is good. This one's giving me shivers.
I would have read your love letters every single night and run away and left it all behind. You still would have been mine, we would have been timeless. 'Cause I believe that we were supposed to find this. So even in a different life, you still would have been mine, we would have been timeless.
God, these instrumental bridges are wild. There's that horn creeping up.
Time breaks.
Hold on, I'm taking that back. God, we cannot be sleeping on these instrumental bridges. These are fan-fucking-tastic. It's so subtle.
Time breaks down your mind and body. Don't you let it touch your soul. It was like an age-old classic. The first time that you saw me, the story started when you said hello.
Oh God, I love when music does that too. The whole thing is just like you're hit with the hits and the song just disintegrates. And they're like, again, there's like that desperation in her voice that's just like, it's strong, but it's so humanizing.
In a crowded room a few short years ago, and sometimes there's no proof, you just know you're always gonna be mine, we're gonna be
I wish this was my wedding song.
You still would have been mine, we would have been. Even if we'd met on a crowded street in 1944.
That atmosphere.
You still would have been mine, we would have been. Down the block, there's an antique shop, and something in my head said stop, so I walked in.
That might be one of the greatest love songs I have ever heard. The writing on this is just absolutely phenomenal. What more can I say? What can I say about this song that Taylor didn't say herself? There's no sense in breaking it down. I think it's perfectly illustrated. And the cool thing about this song is, like, I'm picturing myself in that antique shop just like she is. Like, I can see the books on the shelf. I see the old rocking chair. I see the desk that, you know, and all the stuff that like people are selling. I can see the giant windows and the small road. Like, I'm visually implanted in this place through just a few sentences as she's talking about flipping through the books and like these old pictures and like talking about her life and her love and what it would have been like at that time. Like, I can't help but like think about my experience as well, and like my wife's in 1944 in the 1500s, and like would we have found each other, what would have we been like, and would we have been timeless? And this might be the greatest written love song of all time, and it's been hiding in a vault for God knows how long, like what, 13 years or something. What the hell? Dude, I love the atmosphere. I love the inflection. I like the subtle harmonies. I like the instrumental breakdowns. This is fantastic. Yeah, I'm starting to see it, man. I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to understand Taylor Swift and her writing a little bit more in why people are really into her. You know, I mean, for so long, I'm like, I never gave Taylor Swift the time of day because, I don't know, it just wasn't my age group, and, you know, and I didn't think the music was for me. And maybe I heard some of the commercial hits on the radio and I thought they were fun and bouncy, and, you know, I didn't actively dislike the songs, but it wasn't something I was immediately drawn to. Had I known that she was this kind of prolific writer and songwriter, I would have been into Taylor Swift years ago. You know what's really surprising to me is the fact that these are vault tracks. In my opinion, they should have just been on the album. And when I first heard about the vault tracks too, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. They're little fun extras that just didn't make it to the album because they just didn't cut it or they weren't as good. A lot of times that happens with artists when they release like a 10-year anniversary. They're like, oh, hey, these 5 songs, you know, didn't make the cut, and, you know, they're pretty good, but you can always kind of like understand, okay, I get why they weren't on the final album. Maybe it just didn't fit, or it just didn't add anything to it. There was no added depth to it, but these songs would have added something special to the album, I believe. These are not just throwaway tracks. Hopefully the other vault tracks on the other Taylor versions are just as good as these, because I enjoyed the Speak Now album for the most part, but if these songs would have been incorporated in the album, I think as a whole, I would have enjoyed that album a lot more. But overall, man, I loved it. This was fantastic. Oh, you guys might be wondering, what about I Can See You? That's also a vault track. Well, there was a music video to that, and I actually did react to it. It was on YouTube. It's you know, I'll put it in the description of the Patreon link here, just so you guys can find it easily. I probably am not going to share this whole thing on YouTube. I'm not sure if people are going to be interested in me just kind of breaking down the lyrics and reacting to this. Maybe they'll probably want a visual or something to go along with it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.